I'm going to talk about Gilroy's post-colonial theory. This one's quite straightforward in lots of ways, but when you start picking at the examples and the relevance that it has in the media at the moment, it can get into some quite complex territory, but we're just going to go over the main points about what Gilroy says about post-colonialism in the media and in society. So Gilroy is what we call a social theorist. He looks at culture and he looks at society as a whole. He's also an anthropologist, which means that he studies human behaviour and looks into the way that people interact with each other and the way that people treat one another. So in terms of post-colonialism, what we have to understand is what colonialism actually is. And colonialism is the power that one country will exert over another country and the claim that a country will lay on another one. And Britain had a number of colonies dating back from the 15th century to the 19th century. Now we are living obviously in an age now where Britain don't own colonies and Britain don't lay claim over individuals or communities. However, post-colonialism is looking at the time that we live in now and identifying the idea that that period of time still has a legacy, still has an impact on the way that we live now. So in terms of media, this is looking at the way that ethnic minorities, the way that the black community are portrayed, are represented through different media texts and through different media institutions. And Gilroy would argue that we create these binary oppositions. We create a sense of them and us still through the various media that we consume. For example, if we look at our set products, the WaterAid advert represents an African community who have been helped and assisted by a Western community to obtain access to water. Now, this is a very subtle portrayal of the West still exerting power over different groups of people. And Gilroy would say that this is maintaining the status quo, it's maintaining the binary oppositions, and it's maintaining this idea of them and us, and the West being the ones in control and the West being the ones in charge and in power. If we have a look at the music video Formation, again, this even makes reference to the roots of slavery, and it even makes reference to many of the historical occurrences where black people have been undermined or misrepresented in various ways. Additionally, if we look at the media as a whole and if we look at some of the industries, we can take, for example, the boycotting of the Oscars in 2016 by black actors, primarily because they felt underrepresented. Although they'd been nominated for a number of awards, a black actor hadn't actually won an award. The Oscars board is made up of white upper-class males. So Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, issued a plea to black actors to boycott the Oscars as a challenge to these post-colonial ideas and really exposing some of these issues in media industry. Look at the film Hollywood Shuffle. This is a really good way of exploring how often black actors are chosen for specific roles in film. Often it's things like the gangster, the butler. And again, Gilroy would argue that not only does this create a binary opposition, and not only does it reinforce some of these stereotypes, but it ensures that the status quo is maintained. So yes, there are no colonies anymore, and Britain and America and Western society no longer officially has the upper hand, but Gilroy would argue that through such media texts and through media institutions and industries, the status quo is maintained, and the position of black people in relation to white people is still maintained through the media and through society. This is post-colonial theory. Have a look at your set texts and see if you can apply some of these ideologies to them. See if they sit comfortably with what you can see in the various texts that you have to study.